Arabic ba Arabic letter 6 C1. Arabic ta Arabic rot Arabic Farsi ye Arabic noon Arabic Khalif Arabic noon Arabic ta Arabic ket Arabic Khalif Arabic ba Arabic Farsi ye Arabic letter 6 C1 title Arabic Khalif Mamduda Arabic pa Arabic kaf Arabic Farsi ye Nich Arabic kaf Arabic Buriye Arabic lam Arabic Farsi ye Arabic Buriye Arabic kaf Arabic Khalif Arabic fa Arabic Farsi ye strong Arabic letter 6 C1 Arabic Buriye Arabic Khalif Arabic wow Arabic rot weird word. Bound Arabic kaf Arabic beriye audience pattern Arabic scene Arabic beriye Arabic ba Arabic ha Arabic Farsi ye match Arabic kaf Arabic rot Arabic ta Arabic Khalif Arabic letter 6 C1 Arabic beriye Arabic Farsi ye Arabic letter 6 C1 Arabic rot Arabic letter 6 C1 Arabic Khalif Part 1 Arabic Khalif Arabic scene Arabic Farsi ye documentary storytelling style Arabic meme Arabic Farsi ye Arabic letter 6ba paragraph format Arabic meme Arabic Farsi ye Arabic letter 6ba Arabic ba Arabic hain Arabic Farsi ye Arabic rot repetition Arabic kaf Arabic beriye. A single sharp stone. That was sometimes all it took to change a person's life forever. One careless step across a rocky path, one hidden thorn beneath dry grass, one frozen morning where bare feet touched ice for only a few seconds too long. A tiny cut, a small infection, and in a world without antibiotics that wound could slowly become fatal. Today, shoes are among the most ordinary things we own. Most people have running shoes, work shoes, sandals, boots, slippers, and formal shoes sitting in the same closet. We replace them when fashion changes, complain when they're uncomfortable, and rarely think about the extraordinary invention wrapped around our feet every single day. But for almost the entire history of humanity, real shoes simply did not exist. There were no rubber soles, no waterproof leather boots, no left shoe and right shoe, no comfortable insoles, no sneakers, no hiking boots, no steel-toe work boots. Nothing. Yet somehow human beings crossed deserts hotter than ovens, climbed frozen mountains, hunted dangerous animals, marched across continents, built pyramids, conquered empires, and explored the world. How? The answer begins with the oldest road humanity has ever walked. The ground itself. For millions of years, our ancestors walked completely barefoot. Fossilized footprints discovered in Africa show early humans traveling enormous distances without anything protecting their feet except thick layers of hardened skin. Modern people often imagine this would have been impossible, but the human foot is one of evolution's greatest engineering achievements. It contains 26 bones, more than 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments, all working together to absorb shock, maintain balance, and carry the body's weight over astonishing distances. When used every day without shoes, the foot changes. Skin becomes thicker. Muscles become stronger. The toes spread naturally. The arches develop differently. Anthropologists studying people who still spend much of their lives barefoot have found that they often possess stronger feet and better natural balance than people who wear shoes from childhood. Early humans weren't immune to pain, they simply adapted to the environment in ways that modern feet rarely do. But adaptation had limits. Around 70,000 years ago, humans began leaving Africa in large numbers. They entered environments unlike anything their ancestors had ever experienced. Europe was colder. Central Asia was covered with frozen plains. Siberia became a world of snow, ice, and temperatures capable of freezing exposed skin within minutes. Bare feet were no longer merely uncomfortable. They became deadly. Somewhere during this long migration, someone made a discovery so simple that history forgot their name. Animal skin could protect the foot. Unlike stone tools or pottery, the earliest shoes almost never survived. Leather rots, fur decays, plant fibers disappear. Archaeologists cannot simply dig them up the way they uncover ancient weapons or jewelry. Instead, they solved the mystery by studying skeletons. Roughly 40,000 years ago, scientists noticed that the smaller toes in human skeletons began changing. They became thinner and less robust than those of earlier humans. At first this seemed mysterious, but eventually researchers realized what had happened. Once the foot was protected inside simple footwear, the smaller toes no longer needed to grip rough ground with the same force. The bones themselves quietly recorded the invention of shoes, even though the shoes had vanished thousands of years earlier. The first footwear was probably astonishingly simple. Imagine wrapping a fresh animal hide around your foot and tying it with strips of leather or twisted plant fibers. There was no perfect fit, no stitching machine, no sizing chart. Every pair was handmade, often using whatever materials happened to be available after a successful hunt. Primitive. Perhaps. Life-saving. Absolutely. A simple hide could prevent frostbite during winter migrations. It could protect hunters from sharp volcanic rock. It could reduce injuries while crossing endless plains covered with thorny plants. Suddenly, people could travel farther, survive longer, and settle regions that had once seemed impossible to inhabit. One of the oldest surviving shoes ever discovered proves just how intelligent these early craftsmen really were. In 2008, archaeologists exploring Arani Cave in modern-day Armenia uncovered a remarkably preserved leather shoe more than 5,500 years old. Made from a single piece of cowhide stitched together with leather cords, it was stuffed with dried grass to help it keep its shape and provide insulation. What shocked researchers wasn't simply its age. It was how modern it looked. At first glance, many people mistake it for a handmade leather moccasin produced today. Thousands of years separate it from modern footwear, yet the basic idea had barely changed. Cover the foot, tie it securely, keep walking. The discovery revealed something historians repeatedly encounter. Ancient people were not primitive thinkers. They were brilliant problem solvers working with limited technology. While the people of ancient Armenia perfected leather footwear, civilizations living in warmer climates solved a completely different problem: heat. In ancient Egypt, the burning desert sand could reach temperatures capable of blistering bare feet within minutes. Heavy leather boots would have been unbearable beneath the relentless sun. Instead, Egyptian craftsmen developed lightweight sandals woven from papyrus reeds, palm fibers, and thin leather straps. These sandals allowed air to circulate while protecting the sole from scorching ground. Climate-shaped technology. Cold regions demanded thick fur-lined boots. Hot deserts required breathable sandals. Rainforests inspired woven plant fiber footwear. Mountain civilizations created tougher soles capable of surviving jagged rock. There was never one ancient shoe. There were hundreds, each perfectly adapted to the world its people called home. But shoes soon became far more than simple protection. They became symbols of wealth, power, identity, status. No civilization understood this better than ancient Egypt. Ordinary workers often spent much of their lives barefoot, saving sandals for special occasions because they were expensive to produce. Skilled craftsmen devoted days to preparing leather, weaving fibers, and carefully attaching straps by hand. A well-made pair represented weeks of labor. For royalty, however, footwear became political. Some pharaohs wore beautifully decorated sandals crafted from fine leather, embroidered fabrics, and even gold. On the soles of certain royal sandals, artists painted images of Egypt's enemies. Every step the pharaoh took symbolically crushed his rivals beneath his feet. It was propaganda disguised as fashion. Yet while kings walked on symbols of victory, another civilization was quietly preparing to turn footwear into one of history's greatest military weapons. The Romans did not simply invent better shoes. They invented shoes capable of conquering an empire. Because they understood something that almost every great general in history would eventually learn. A soldier is only as strong as the feet carrying him. For nearly 1,000 years, no army marched farther than the Roman legions. They crossed frozen mountain passes, burning deserts, swamps, dense forests, rocky coastlines, and roads that stretched thousands of miles across 3 continents. Historians often credit Roman engineering, military discipline, and brilliant generals for the empire's success. They rarely mention the shoes. Yet without them, Rome may never have become an empire at all. Every Roman legionary received specially designed military sandals known as calligi. Unlike ordinary sandals, these were built for war. Thick layers of leather formed the sole, while dozens of leather straps wrapped tightly around the foot and ankle, keeping everything secure during endless marches. Most remarkably, the bottoms were reinforced with hundreds of iron hobnails hammered directly into the sole. Imagine hiking across Europe wearing leather sandals covered in tiny iron studs. On rocky ground they gripped the earth. On muddy roads they prevented slipping. On long campaigns, they lasted far longer than ordinary footwear. The sound alone became legendary. Ancient writers described entire Roman armies announcing their arrival long before they appeared, the steady rhythm of thousands of iron-studded sandals striking stone roads echoing through the countryside. Sometimes victory began with a pair of boots. Roman roads are often celebrated as one of history's greatest engineering achievements. But roads are useless if people cannot walk on them. Footwear and infrastructure evolved together. A merchant could travel farther. A messenger could carry news faster. A soldier could march 20 miles a day for weeks at a time. The empire expanded one step at a time. Not everyone admired Roman footwear. In colder regions like Britain and northern Germany, local tribes laughed at the open design of Roman sandals. Winters there were brutally cold, and exposed feet suffered terribly. Roman soldiers eventually adapted by wearing thick wool socks beneath their sandals, creating one of history's earliest examples of fashion that looked ridiculous but worked surprisingly well. Archaeologists excavating the Roman fort at Vindolanda near Hadrian's Wall discovered hundreds of remarkably preserved shoes buried in wet soil. Tiny children's shoes, elegant women's footwear, heavy military boots, worn-out work shoes patched repeatedly before finally being discarded. These discoveries revealed something touching. People loved their shoes. Children outgrew them. Parents repaired them. Workers wore them until almost nothing remained. A good pair of shoes was too valuable to waste. When the Roman Empire collapsed, much of Europe lost more than roads and cities. It lost specialized craftsmen. Trade networks disappeared. Leather became harder to obtain. Many villages returned to making footwear using whatever materials happened to exist nearby. Shoes became simpler, rougher, and far less durable than those produced during Rome's Golden Age. For ordinary medieval peasants, walking barefoot remained common during warmer months. Not because they preferred it, because shoes were expensive. A single pair might cost the equivalent of several weeks' wages. Families repaired them endlessly, soles were patched, straps replaced, holes stitched shut over and over again until the original shoe almost disappeared beneath layers of repairs. Children often received their first real shoes only after years of going barefoot. Growing feet made new footwear an expensive investment. Many parents simply waited. Throughout medieval Europe, shoes also became powerful indicators of social class. You could often identify someone's occupation before they spoke. Farmers wore thick, practical leather. Merchants favored cleaner, better crafted footwear. Nobles commissioned shoes decorated with embroidery, colored leather, silver buckles, and expensive fabrics. The shoe had become a status symbol. And then, like so many moments in history, fashion took over. Around the 14th century, Europe experienced one of the strangest footwear trends ever recorded. Pointed shoes. Not slightly pointed. Extremely pointed. Known as poulains, these shoes sometimes extended nearly 2 feet beyond the wearer's toes. Noblemen stuffed the long tips with moss, wool, horsehair, or even whalebone to help them keep their shape. Walking became awkward. Climbing stairs became difficult. Riding horses became dangerous. But that was exactly the point. Only wealthy people who never performed physical labor could afford footwear so impractical. The longer the shoe, the higher the status. Eventually, the trend became so excessive that some European rulers introduced laws limiting exactly how long shoe points were allowed to be based on social rank. Imagine governments regulating the length of your shoes. History has always been stranger than fiction. Elsewhere, entirely different civilizations solved the same problem in completely different ways. Across the frozen Arctic, the Inuit developed boots made from seal skin and caribou hide. These boots were masterpieces of survival. Waterproof, insulated, and astonishingly lightweight, they allowed hunters to travel across snow and sea ice where ordinary leather footwear would quickly freeze solid. Thousands of miles away in Japan, wooden sandals called geta lifted the foot several inches above muddy roads. During rainy seasons, people stayed cleaner simply because their shoes kept them above the dirt. Even today, traditional geta remain one of the most recognizable forms of Japanese footwear. Meanwhile, indigenous peoples across North America perfected soft leather moccasins. Unlike heavy European boots, moccasins allowed hunters to move almost silently through forests. They could feel the ground beneath them, making it easier to track animals without snapping twigs or disturbing leaves. European explorers quickly recognized their advantages and often adopted local designs themselves. Every civilization invented shoes. But no two civilizations invented the same shoe. Because every landscape demanded a different answer. Yet despite all this innovation, humanity still faced one enormous problem. Shoes wore out. Leather cracked. Wood split. Straps snapped. And for most people, buying another pair simply wasn't possible. That problem would remain unsolved until machines transformed shoemaking forever. Because once factories learned how to build shoes by the thousands instead of one pair at a time, footwear would stop being a luxury and become something almost everyone on Earth could finally afford. For thousands of years, owning a good pair of shoes meant owning something incredibly valuable. People repaired them again and again. Children inherited them from older brothers and sisters. Travelers carried spare leather because finding a replacement on the road was nearly impossible. A well-made pair might last for years, while a poorly made one could fail in the middle of a journey where failure meant injury, infection, or even death. Then the Industrial Revolution arrived. And once again, an ordinary object quietly changed the course of human history. Before factories, every shoe was made by hand. A skilled shoemaker measured each customer's foot individually, cut the leather by hand, stitched every seam with waxed thread, shaped the sole using wooden molds, and attached every piece one stitch at a time. Producing a single pair required hours, sometimes days of careful labor. That craftsmanship came at a price. For ordinary working families, shoes remained expensive. Many people owned only one pair. If those shoes became damaged, they repaired them. If they could no longer be repaired, only then would they consider replacing them. Everything changed during the 19th century. New cutting machines, mechanical stitching equipment, steam-powered factories, standardized sizing. Suddenly, shoes could be manufactured faster than ever before. The cost fell dramatically. For the first time in history, millions of ordinary workers could afford proper footwear without spending months of wages. This wasn't simply a fashion revolution. It was an economic revolution. Workers walked farther to factories. Children attended school more comfortably. Farmers crossed rough fields with fewer injuries. Miners entered dangerous tunnels wearing stronger boots. Railroad workers built thousands of miles of track with footwear designed specifically for hard labor. As civilization modernized, shoes quietly became part of the infrastructure that powered industrial society. Then another remarkable idea appeared: left and right shoes. It sounds unbelievable today, but for centuries many shoes were made completely straight, meaning either shoe could fit either foot. Manufacturers believed this simplified production and extended the shoe's lifespan because people could swap them whenever one side wore down faster. Comfort wasn't the priority. Durability was. Only during the 19th century did companies begin producing shoes specifically shaped for the left and right foot. The improvement seems small, but anyone who has ever worn uncomfortable shoes understands how important it truly was. By the early 20th century, footwear had evolved beyond simple protection. Different jobs required different shoes. Soldiers needed combat boots. Doctors preferred lightweight leather shoes for long hospital shifts. Factory workers wore reinforced boots. Athletes demanded specialized footwear that improved speed and reduced injuries. Even children's shoes became carefully designed to support healthy development. Human beings were no longer adapting their feet to shoes. Shoes were finally adapting themselves to human feet. Science accelerated the transformation even further. Rubber soles improved grip. Steel reinforcements protected workers. Waterproof materials kept feet dry. Shock-absorbing midsoles reduced stress on joints. Synthetic fabrics made shoes lighter than leather while remaining remarkably durable. What had begun as a simple animal hide wrapped around the foot eventually became one of the most sophisticated everyday products ever created. Yet perhaps the most fascinating part of this story isn't technological. It's psychological. Modern people rarely notice their shoes. We complain if they're uncomfortable after walking a few miles. We buy different pairs to match different outfits. Entire closets overflow with sneakers, boots, sandals, running shoes, hiking shoes, and formal shoes. Then we forget about them. That is often the fate of history's greatest inventions. The better they become, the less we notice them. The Roman soldier marching across Europe. The Egyptian laborer crossing burning sand. The medieval farmer repairing the same leather boots for the 10th time. The Inuit hunter walking across frozen Arctic ice. The Native American tracker moving silently through the forest in handmade moccasins. All of them solved exactly the same problem. How do you protect the only vehicle that carries you through life? Your feet. Because without healthy feet, empires don't expand. Trade doesn't flourish. Pilgrims never reach sacred cities. Explorers never discover new continents. Armies never win battles. Farmers never harvest crops. Civilization itself never moves forward. History celebrates kings, generals, inventors, scientists. But every one of them stood on something surprisingly ordinary. A pair of shoes. The next time you tie your shoelaces before leaving home, pause for just a moment. You're using the final chapter of an invention that took tens of thousands of years to perfect. An invention born from frozen migrations. Refined by ancient craftsmen. Strengthened by Roman armies. Reinvented by medieval shoemakers. Transformed by factories. And improved by modern science. For most of human history, protecting your feet meant surviving another day. Today, it means choosing between different colors. That may be the greatest sign of progress hidden beneath our feet. Because sometimes, the inventions that change human history forever are the ones we literally walk on every single day.